ever been to anything like this before? Really? Paid all this money to come and see me? Must be mad. As I was sitting in there, I was with a lady called Val, but she would have been Valerie, but known as Val. Does anyone understand her so far? You do? Yeah. I can see you. You okay? Right, I want to say that with her, she's quite a sweet lady, but you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of her. Does that make sense? Yeah. I know, I got you. And she was sitting there going, Corey's taking his time. You said 7:30. They're not calling. Then when he came in and said, won't be long, she went, about time too as well. She was very much, she wanted everything on time. Does that make sense? Yes. She wouldn't be late for anything. I feel that with her service, everyone was late. This is what she's telling me. Everyone was late. She goes, I'm not in there, but, come on, let's hurry up. And everything went late, and everything didn't go well. Does that make sense? It didn't go to plan as such. She's also coming through now. Okay, got it. Is Dad in spirit too? Yeah. Okay, because he's come through with her. And she went, will you mind out? She said, I'm having a little chat here, she goes. And she's quite funny, really. And with him, I want to say that I want to put a medal on him because he fought his way as much as he could. Does that make sense? I want to put a medal on him because he didn't moan as much as what he could have done.
Oh, he did.
No. He's very nice. And I quite like him, really, so he's making sense. But I do, he wants to put a medal on himself. And just to say that I didn't moan too much. I don't feel that he dwelled on stuff. He'll tell you that he wasn't quite well or something wasn't going quite right, but he wouldn't dwell on it all the time. He preferred having company around him. But then towards the end part, he got quite ratty and he didn't want people around him, so he was actually pushing people away. Does that make sense? Great. Right, I'm going to come over here, I think, because I've got a lady here. Whose birthday is it tomorrow? Because I've got the mum here, want to wish her daughter. Mum in spirit? Yeah, because she wants to wish you happy birthday. She said it's your 50th. She always lied about her age, didn't she? She'd always set it back a few years. She said if I had my way, I'd turn them around. But she really wants to wish you happy birthday. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? No one ever wishes me happy birthday. Did you slip or miss your footing recently?
Yes.
Because she said she tried to catch you, but she missed out. She tried her best. Is Dad in spirit too? Because he wouldn't have got up off the chair, really, would he? No. He would just sit there quite happily, just, in a minute, I'll sort it out. Too late then, wasn't it? But they're just saying, just mind your feet. Was you a morning baby?
Yes.
Yeah, she says. She's just telling me all the labour that she went through. She said, I don't suffer in silence.
Hi guys, it's Brigitte here, and I'm sitting here with... Good call. This is what happens. Okay. Hi guys, it's Brigitte here, and I'm sitting here with clinical hypnotherapist, past life regression therapist, and psychic medium Graham Watson.
Hi, you alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, good.
So I've just seen you on platform for
yes.
the first time,
mm-hmm.
and you just deliver messages like it's non-stop.
Non-stop.
So let me ask you, as a clinical hypnotherapist,
okay,
what is that exactly?
Clinical hypnotherapist is, in day-to-day life, we hide behind all our barriers. Using hypnosis, I remove those barriers in order to talk to your subconscious. So as a counsellor, if I counsel someone, it could take me up to a year, 2 years to deal with all their problems. As a hypnotherapist, I can deal with those problems in matters of weeks. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot quicker process, and it's a nicer way because everyone else is then, as they come to see me, they're going away with lots of things going on within their mind so they can clear their own thoughts. So it's really nice.
So it's also for smoking, isn't it? People
Absolutely.
Want to get rid of smoking, any other addictions that they have.
Absolutely. So I'm trained with adults and with children as well. So a lot of my work is with children from the ages of 6 onwards. So it could be that their rabbit has died or their kitten. It could be that their parents are splitting up. And to them, that's the end of the world, really, you know. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, a lot of the time at the moment, is school bullying or not knowing how to talk to somebody in public, because we sit behind all the Facebook all the time and messaging people, and we don't know what it's like to have a conversation with somebody.
That's just what it's come to these days.
Absolutely.
Everyone's on their phone, everyone's on social media.
That's right, it's all their anxiety, so I do a lot with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good, I really enjoy it.
And how long ago did you start?
I started both of them together, the hypnotherapy and the clairvoyance side of it. We're coming up to 4 years now, so I've been doing it for 4 years.
And what made you decide to do that?
Oh, long story. Okay, so years ago, it was about 11 years ago, I sat in a ladies' circle and decided that I always got voices when I was little. My granddad used to come and talk to me a lot. As I grew up, many different things happened. I was cutting a boy's hair, and his father stood in front of me and wanted me to tell him that he's okay, and that really scared him, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I decided, about 12 years ago, that I decided to go and sit in a circle and develop it myself. I sat in the ladies' circle, and all she could see from me was, quick, let's get him up onto platform at a church. And I got up there, and the message was lovely. The lady that received the message said it was lovely, but it was the way that I delivered it. It was just very to the point, very cold. And obviously I was very untrained, didn't know what to do with it. And I got asked to remove myself from the platform, and that really shattered my confidence. So after that, I was like, yep, not interested now. I'm going to leave it alone and never deal with it again. And then roughly about the same time, it was 10 years ago, my sister went to give birth, which is a lovely time, in hospital. And unfortunately, she contracted a disease called strep invasive, which means that it was eating her body from the inside out. So her organs were being eaten. And she ended up on life support. And that's where they told us we had to go and say our goodbyes. I went to court and got full custody of my niece. So for my future was going to be to raise her child as well as I could on how she would wanted her, or how she was going to raise her own child. And during this process, when I got full custody, I wasn't allowed to go and see my sister anymore because of the contracting or me passing any infections on from my sister to my niece.
Right.
So on that last day, I had to go and say goodbye. Broke my heart to stand there and say farewell to her. And they said, but what were they going to do? Because they tried to take her off life support 3 times, and every time that she died, and they brought her back. And they said that we'll try it again at some stage. So as I was standing there saying goodbye, a doctor came in. I'll never forget him. He looked a bit like Dr. Kildare, very good-looking, jugged-edged Australian accent. And he said, all right, mate. And I said, yeah. He said, don't worry about her. He said, she'll be absolutely fine. He said, tonight, he said, at 2 o'clock, he said, I'm going to sit here and just slowly cut down her oxygen off the life support so she'll start breathing on her own. So I'm going to do it. It was a gradual process. He said, by 10:20 in the morning, he said, she'll be fully off of that and she'll be breathing on her own. I said, are you sure? He said, absolutely. He said, and I'm off to Australia. He said, I've got built my own practice out there. He said, these are my last few days here, so I want to do something really, really good. And I said, oh, thank you so much. And he said, no problem. He said, when you talk again to me, he said, she'll be off the life support and she'll be well. And I was like, wow. All my Christmases had come at once. So I then had to leave. As I walked up the corridor, this lady bumped into me. And she said, it's never good visiting someone, is it? I said, no. She said, can you tell your mum something for me? I said, sure. What's that? She said, tell her Claire's going to be okay. And I thought, well, my sister's name's Angela. It's not Claire, so that's a bit weird. And I said, okay, no problem, I'll tell her. So I went home and went to my mum's and I told her about the doctor, and they were all excited. And I said, a weird thing. She said, what? I said, this lady came up to me and just told me to tell her that Claire's going to be all right. My mum hit the floor on her knees, started screaming. And I was like, what's the matter? And she said, what did the lady look like? So I described this lady. She said, she said, that was my cousin Maisie. And I said, oh, okay. She said, she passed. I said, I remember when I was little. She said, when I named your sister Angela, I went, no, that's definitely a Claire. So she said, that's why she said Claire. I said, oh, okay, it's strange. Next morning, at 11 o'clock, we got told to come up to the hospital. So we went up there, and the consultant came in. A really nice guy came in, sat down, and said, I don't know how to explain this to you, and I said, no, it's all right. I know all about the doctor. And he went, what? I said, the doctor, I know all about the doctor. I said, at 10:20, she was off the life support and that she was all right. He said, how did you know that? I said, the doctor told me. What doctor? So I explained the doctor, and there's no one here of that. He said, let me explain what happened. I said, okay. He said, at 10 o'clock, he said, the machine stopped working. He said, the oxygen level stopped working to your sister. He said, so we were trying to get the machine working again. He said, when we looked up at the clock, it was 10:20 and she was breathing on her own. He said, so we've just left her as she is, so she's off life support. She's one of 3 since 1942 in the world to ever recover from this. And I thought, wow, that's really good. So I'm not a religious person, really. So I went home and I prayed just to say thank you. Whatever you've done, thank you so much. And I had a sleep. And they said, don't worry. They said, we'll call on you at your lowest part of your life. We'll come back to you and you will then become working for us properly. And you're never going to look back. And I said, okay, don't know what you mean, but okay, we'll leave it at that. So that's how it all came about. And then 4 years ago, I had all these tumors in my body and had a limited time of living here. Wow. And told that I didn't have long. And it was during that time of 10 months of last bit of my life that I trained to be a clinical hypnotherapist. And during that time, my granddad was so real to me that I could, really feel him and talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, their words were, it's your time now to come and work spiritually because we've helped you and now it's your time to help us. That's where it all came from.
Wow.
Bizarre, eh?
That is amazing. And the tumors went?
Yep, so I had a procedure that was called a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
So the weird way it worked was I collapsed, felt really ill, lost all my bodily functions, felt really ill. The lady said she's going to call me an ambulance. I was really embarrassed. I said, no, I drove home. I remember cleaning myself up, laying on my bed and falling asleep for about 12 hours. Woke up in the morning. I phoned my doctor. I've got his mobile number. He was on holiday. Said for me to go and see his locum at my doctor's. I went and saw her. And she took one look at me and said, you need to see my friend. And he's a professor in gastrostomies and gastro department. I said, okay. So she said, let me ring him, see where he is. And she rang him, he's at my local hospital. So he said, go home, someone will ring you. I got home, his secretary rang me and said, come straight in. My dad took me down, he took one look at me, did some emergency bloods, and then I literally had all these procedures straight away, like he wrote down a shopping list. Mm-hmm. I said, what's that all for? He said, what you're having today. I had loads of procedures there and then, scans and all sorts. I was like, wow. And then he said, you've got to come back in 3 days, have this colonoscopy. Mm-hmm. Gave me all the stuff to prepare myself for it. I went in, he did it personally. And as you lay on the bed and you're looking, there's a TV screen. And during this time he was doing it all, he moved the screen. I said, well, why are you moving that? He said, you don't need to see it. And I said, I really do. When he moved it back, he described where the tumours were. Oh my. And he said, I don't know what they are, if they're benign or not. He said, we've got two choices. We'll either leave them and test them. He said, or you sign this form and we'll take them out now. Mm-hmm. So I signed the form and he took out 19, which I could bear. There was no time for like anaesthetics or anything else. So I was literally on gas in here and it hurt. So I know what giving birth's like now. I think so. So yeah, he took out the 19 and they all came back positive. And he just said, go home, have a really good Christmas. So I did. And then in January when I went to see him, he told me that it wasn't good news. Mm-hmm. And that they're going to start all the treatment, which they did. I had chemical therapy. Yep. And during this time, I didn't know what to do. I went to see my friend and he said, what do you want to do in life? I said, well, I really want to hypnotise someone. I had it done for myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm fascinated with it. So I went, thought I'm going to go and learn it. I said, I really want to give this clairvoyance thing a go again. He said, well, you got to do it. He said, what have you got to lose? Oh, exactly. So I came home, found on the internet, I found a hypnotherapy course, phoned up the lady because it said it was local. I was on so many medication that was really hard to drive very far or do anything really. And she said, yeah, I've got one place left in the course. This was on the Friday night. And she said, this is how much it was. I think it was about £6,000. I said, I can't afford it. I said, I'm really not well, I'll be honest with you. And she said, look, pay monthly. Then I haven't got to pay any refunds back to anybody. She said, and we'll see how we go. I said, okay, thank you. So I said, and you're only up the road, you're only 8 miles away. And she said, where do you live then? And I said, I live in Surrey. And she said, no. She said, I'm in Chelmsford in Essex. So I went, oh, you're a bit far. She said, well, I think you should come. I said, so do I. And I went, and as I went and started this course, I felt like I really knew what I was doing. Mm-hmm. Felt like I was home. I was really enjoying myself. I loved the course. And during this time, I was able then to work with people. And I said, can we do it now? And she said, no, got to do more learning. I said, the time's clicking for me. I really want to give this a go. And she said, okay, go on then. So I decided that I was going to build. I didn't have enough room in my house to do it. I only got a small place. So I thought, I need like a little shed, in the garden. Yeah. So I thought, that's great. So I marked out with chairs where I wanted it to go and everything. I thought one day, and my neighbour is a builder. He said, what are you doing with the chairs? I said, well, this is where the base is going to be. It's where my summer house is going to be. He said, have you got any of it? I went, no. And he went, what are you doing that for then? I said, well, because if I plan it, maybe I'll do it one day. And he said, I'll help you. So between me and him, we built the base. And I looked online for a summer house and there was so much money, thousands of pounds. I thought, I can't afford it. And I found a company and I phoned them up. I said, you've got this really lovely summer house. It was only £900. It was all done, floor, everything. Wow. And he went, you've got to be a company and then we'll deliver it to you because obviously we sell it to you at that price and then you sell it on. So I registered myself as a company and got delivery of my summer house. And that's how that come along. And I built it and I started seeing people. I put an advert on Facebook saying, I'm trained to be a clinical hypnotherapist. I think I'm going to try and help you. Mm-hmm. If you feel you need help, give me a shout to see what we can do. It was over 2,000 people applied. So I turned off the ad, and out of all the 2,000, I saw 250 people.
Do you know the movie, If You Build It, They Will Come?
Yeah.
Field of Dreams. Exactly
Absolutely.
what you did.
And it built it, I tell you, and it's still there now. It's where I work, so absolutely love it.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's really good. And I saw the people, realised that I was helping people, and it just took my mind away from me, and I was just happily to help other people, which was lovely. And then to speed it up a little bit, I decided to write to churches and say, I'm untrained as a clairvoyant. However, I'd love to come up and just demonstrate and see if I can do it again. I don't have long on this life, so if I'm really rubbish, it doesn't matter because you ain't got to put up with me. And one of my local churches gave me the chance, and I stood up, demonstrated what I thought was right. And I said, what do I need? She said, well, you need an opening and a closing prayer. I was like, oh, I don't know what they are. So I sat down at a computer and thought, what do I write? My granddad sat next to me and said, we'll do it. And between us, we wrote the prayers. That's why when I say my prayers, everyone says, well, why are you reading? But that's why they're so personal to me. So that's why I read my prayers. And I demonstrated, and I walked away, and I thought, I've done it. I didn't get told to come off the stage. Everything was good. At least I've done it now once. And 48 hours later, my phone didn't stop ringing. Everyone wanted to book me, and I started doing them. Before I knew it, the whole of that year was fully booked with demonstration. I thought, wow. I had to start telling them, well, actually, November's my cut-off, so I may not still be here. So just to let you know, they're like, okay. And I was really ill during that time. Even here, when I was at Wimbledon, came up here, I remember getting up on these steps, still unwell, but still did the best. And when you stand up, you just forget about you. You worry about all the people sitting in front of you, and you just forget about you. And that's what happened. So in June of 2013, in the evening, I was reading a book, and the next day I was having my final tests done to see where I was in life. And as I sat there, my granddad sat next to me on my bed, and I was fully awake. I know I wasn't asleep. He said, I'm off to take you. And I said, I'm not ready to die. And he said, no. He said, it'd be good, trust me. All you got to do is trust. And I felt like I just went to this place, it was just white, and all different shades of white. It just wasn't cliche white. It's all these different colours, like off greys and all these different whites. And as I stood there, he said, you don't know who your guide is, do you? And I said, I haven't got a clue. He said, you need to know. And he introduced me to my guide. Yeah. And my guide presented himself as a bare-chested man, and he's lovely physique. And I said, why are you dressed, why are you showing me your chest? And he said, because that's how you want your own body to be. And I said, yeah. He said, well, every time now you see me, you'll be reminding to keep going. He said, tomorrow you'll start at the gym. I said, I can't go to the gym. He said, you'll see. And then they asked me to kneel. And as I kneeled, they put their hands on me. And I just felt this heat, this cold, and there's all these strange feelings. I felt cold, shaky. Felt like I was unwell again. And when I woke up, or when I came round, I was still in the bed, still looking at my book. So I knew I wasn't asleep. I was in the exact position. And I went to get my test the next day, had the test done, went back 2 hours later, and my consultant's sitting there. Again, the tissues are on the table. I said, great, more bad news. And she started crying. I said, why are you crying? She said, they're all clear. You're 100% clear. I said, not right. And she said, I know. She said, you are literally a walking miracle. I don't understand it. I said, let's not question it. So, and that's it. So I walked away from there. The next day, I rolled in the gym. I started at the gym, just light exercise, just to prove a point.
Well, that's amazing. They healed you whilst you
Absolutely, yeah. Got me all better again. Yeah. So that was good, And here I am now.
Working for spirit, yeah.
Working, yeah, full time. That's it. That's what I do.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about past life regression?
Okay, so
I've done it before as well.
You enjoyed it?
I've done it once. It's you go so deep, and it's not an experience I would recommend to everyone, because it took a lot out of me.
Okay.
And the other thing that I've done, but that's different, that wasn't under hypnosis, that was going through the Akashic records to heal things.
Yes.
But under hypnosis, yeah, that was very, very deep. And I actually lived in Constantinople at the time.
Okay.
And apparently I was a writer. I was too far ahead of my time, and I had someone that betrayed me, and I ended up in prison, and I died.
Wow. Okay, so I had a different experience to you. While I was doing the hypnotherapy course, we learned how to do the past life regression. That's what I'm fascinated with. And the lady did it with myself. It was bizarre. 1 minute I was there. Next minute, I was just in this room, and it was an office. I remember it clearly as day. The clock was in front of me, and it's exactly how my summer house is all set up now. The clock in front of me, the chairs exactly as they are, and there was a knock on the door, and she said to me, "Are you going to answer it?" I said, "Of course not. They're here to see me. I don't need to open the door. What happens if they don't come in?" I said, "Well, that's down to them. They know to come in." And as they came in, I gave the lady's name and why she was there, and lots of stuff going on. And we gave lots of information, and it worked out that I was Milton Erickson, who was a clinical hypnotherapist. He was a counsellor before that as well, and he decided that with using hypnosis, it was a quicker process to help people.
Yeah.
So the lady's name he gave and everything else, and I looked it all up, and about 2 weeks later, we was reading about him, and as I opened this book, it was as if I had written it myself. The lady's name was in there, exactly what she was there for, and he even described that day where she just kept knocking on the door and wasn't coming in. I had to shout for her to come in. And I was like, wow, I was really taken back. So I knew then that's why I needed to do the hypnotherapy. When I do the past life regression for other people, I use hypnosis as an anesthetic. So I only give them as much as what I feel they need. A lot of people have a lot of emotional problems. If you take them too deeply, it panics them, gets them worried. So I just do it step by step, so a nice gradual process. I don't sit to like the time where, right, you've got 1 hour, let's get on with it. I always book out plenty of time in order for that process to happen.
Yeah.
So it's more of a relaxed, enjoyable experience.
And it helps people to move forward in life.
Absolutely. Everything we've done in our past is stopping our future. So it's unblocking that in order to move forwards.
Yeah, that's the same with the Akashic Records.
Absolutely the same.
Except with the Akashic Records, you're very conscious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so, and that's what I do. And the same with the hypnosis now with the children. Just do it very gradual process, because otherwise they could get quite scared, because it's quite weird to begin with. I had one client, she was only 6, bless her. First time she was so scared and sitting on mum's lap, and she didn't want to do it. And during the process, and she's just going off, you can see her just drifting away peacefully, helped her out. As I brought her back, she was smiling, "Oh, I did it." Oh, yeah. The next week, she was so excited, she ran in and she jumped on the chair, "Come on, come on." So I know that he does give a lot of good, you know, but I think if I do it too harshly or too quickly, that's what will scare them. So it's always like a gentle process.
How do you advise people to move forward in life?
Trusting within themselves. I think that's the most important thing. It's us that's got us through all of these years from birth. It's nobody else. We've got ourselves through. We may have relied on people or asked people for help, but it's always us that's got us through there. So it's trusting ourselves, you know, and that's the trust that's the hardest thing in the world to get, you know, building up confidence and trust in our inner self. But if we trust ourselves, we'll never let ourselves down.
Right. How do you advise people to, and I ask this question quite a bit.
Okay.
How do you advise people that struggle so much to move forward in life? Because often enough they run around in circles.
Absolutely. So either go and see, some people like going to see counsellors. A lot of people don't, because in more so the counsellor's telling them what to do. That, you know, they need to find it themselves to come and see me. And that would help them, you know, absolutely. And I realise that now. I've had many cases where they've sat there and went, "Well, I'm not being hypnotised. I don't even know why I'm here." And it's a slower process, but eventually you build up their trust in order for them to give it a go. And all of a sudden you start seeing these huge changes. And that's what's important, really. And I think you just got to believe in yourself, you know, and just think, you know, I need to move myself forward. No one else is going to move me forward. So I need to move myself forward for myself.
Yeah, that's right, of course.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you meet your guides? Because a lot of people are not aware. I mean, they know that they have guides, but how do you become aware of your guides trying to help you?
So I got introduced to mine at that time. I always say to people that, you know, I talk to or help, it's not for me to tell them. You know, I've been to many meetings or demonstrations where the clairvoyant or medium will get up and say, "Oh, you've got your guide," and describe a guide. And I think that's very impersonal. I think it's very important for you to find out yourself.
Yeah.
So last year I sat down and decided that I was going to record some CDs for people to help them. And one of them was a spiritual one, and it was just a journey in order for them to find their guide. It was channeled through me by my guide in order to let yourself go, relax, and just sit down and just allow your mind to stop thinking about your life, allowing your mind to travel off out that building, and even just think about the sky and just taking yourself out. And before you know it, everything around you just seems a little bit more different. And just feeling like, you know, I feel that I have this nun with me, or this, whoever your guide is, you know, they will make themselves quite clear to you. Someone always said to me, oh, you only ever have one guide, and that's the person that helps you, which is true. I have my one guide, but I have all my loved ones that have passed, and I know that they help me too. So when I picture them in my mind, I know exactly the sort of character of the person's loved one that's coming through.
Yeah.
So that helps me too.
And your guided meditations are available online?
They are, yeah, through my website. That's it. All they do is click the button, I send them the CD. I'm still trying to work out how to put it all online. I'm a bit of a technophobe, but I'm trying. But yeah, absolutely, you can buy CDs or get them from somebody else. It really, really will help in order to sit there and decide. Sitting in circles, development classes, anything like that will help you. But it's for you to find out, not for somebody else to tell you.
No, of course.
I think it's your life and it's your personal journey. So you need to find them for yourself.
Yeah. Now, what is heaven like?
Wow, see, that fascinates me. I would love to. I've got so many loved ones there now that I'd like to know exactly what they're up to and everything else. And
Well, don't they tell you what they're up to?
no, you see, I was having this conversation earlier. It's so easy to bring other people's loved ones through, but to bring your own loved ones through, they're not there to have a conversation with you. They'll help you and may give you little bits and pieces, but not the same way as when you're delivering a message. For me, I have to go and sit, and I happily go and sit in, churches and go and watch demonstrations, just hoping to get that one message. I have asked them. I said, "What's heaven like?" And they said, "It's not for you to know. It's for when your time comes for you to know." My own perception on it is, I don't believe that heaven is above us and it's all fluffy. I believe that it's sort of like where we are now. I watched Doctor Who, and it was Sarah Jane's Adventures, which was his companion, and her and the Doctor were suspended 1 second out of time, so he could hear her but couldn't see her, and she could see him but couldn't hear him, and that's what I feel it's like. It's sort of like that slight dimension away, that 1 second click, and that's how easy for myself to channel into that. And I just believe that when we get there, it's all just, everything just disappears. We all just feel happy again, like recharged already.
Yeah, we'll remember who we are.
Absolutely, ready to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I also believe that, people that are ready to come back down to the earth they can communicate. I've had it before where they've communicated to me and said, I'm on my way, and people go, no, I don't think so. And I got proven that today, didn't we?
Yeah, you did with the little boy.
We did. So that was last year. Actually, in this church, they had like all these Lego pieces in front here where everyone could write a name down, just to remember their loved ones. And as I walked in, one of the bricks just fell on the floor, and I put it back. It was like, no, put that up on the table. That's for later. And all I could see was this little boy, cheeky little face. And so I put the brick here, and when I stood up, I said to this lady, I said, it was really strange. It was a young girl. It's really strange. About what? And I explained about the story about the brick. I said, and this is for you. And she said, why? I said, because I have this little boy with me. And she said, I've not lost any children. I said, I didn't say you had. I said, but this little boy is saying that he loves you and he's ready to join you. And she said, well, it's weird. And obviously from a clairvoyant point of view or a medium, you're not there to scare people. It's not about that. It's all good, and all lovely. And I said, no, this boy, what you're longing for a child. I said, he's on his way. She said, I so wish it. I said, I know it's been complicated, but it will happen. Just give it time. And this brick, when you hold on to that brick and you believe in it, I said it will happen. And one day that will be sitting on your side and you'll have your little boy. And she said, I wish. Today I was at Wimbledon, and after we'd finished the service, she called me over and said, she had a little baby, and she said, do you remember this boy? And I went, he looks so familiar. And she said, and then reminded me that it was her that I gave the message to. And she said exactly those words, that little brick sitting on my side. So
wow.
It does prove that it's true, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So I love it. It's really good. Good evidence for me. I talk to them before they come here.
Yeah, that's actually that's amazing.
It was
and
bizarre,
then they come
yeah.
here, and of course they're little and they don't.
Yeah.
remember.
And the weird thing is, as I was talking to the little boy after the service, he was laughing at me and joking as if he knew me. So it was like being reunited with someone that was already in my mind.
And what is your take on karma?
Karma. Yeah, I believe that we deal with everything here. We don't go off anywhere to deal with anything. We deal with it now. So if we do something bad, within weeks, sometimes days, it happens, and we get our payback. We learn our lessons while we're here, and I think that's quite a good thing in a nice way. We're not here on this earth to upset people as much as we try, but unfortunately, sometimes through circumstance, we do. Mm-hmm. We feel really bad inside. The people think that you're really horrible, but we still get our own karma because we have to live with that, Mm-hmm. And until we can clear that and make ourselves feel happier, we're stuck with it for a little while, or we're going to go into a similar situation with somebody else, and that situation ends up paying you back. So yeah, of course, instant karma can happen.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing you've ever had? Giving a reading.
The funniest thing.
Yeah, funniest thing.
The most peculiar thing, I would say.
Yeah, or memorable, yeah.
A lady came for a reading. It was a gift voucher. She didn't believe in any of this at all. She didn't believe in life after death at all. Somebody gave it to her as a gift. Go and see him and just see what happens. She came to me. I had an office then in Leatherhead. She sat down. I described her nan, how she was sitting, with this room where she sits in. And she just looked at me and just went, I can understand her totally. The room I understand. So you told me about going to deliver flowers. I always do that. I always speak to her. I said, well, your nan can't speak back. She said, I know that as well. She said, but the weird thing is, she said, she's still alive. She said, she hasn't passed. I said, well, your nan's talking to me as if she's passed. She's chatting away. She said, well, she's still alive. It came out that she was very, very ill. And I said, your nan's telling me she's still going to be here for 3 birthdays. And that's important for you to know. She said, I was always worried that she's going to pass before my birthday. No, she'll definitely see your birthday and she'll see 3. And they're really close together. And after reading, she said the 3 birthdays are really close together. And she was so upset that she left. And I thought, not the sort of reading that you want for a gift voucher, but she came back to see me. She said, I just wanted to give you feedback. And I said, oh, thank you. She said, my nan's passed away now. She said, the room you described was the nursing home where she lived. Everything you described was true, even like the shoes by the wardrobe, everything you said to detail. She said, you said the 3 birthdays. I said, that's right. She said, I went to her birthday with my nan. She said, we had scrambled eggs. We had a really nice time. She was able to talk a little bit to me and I felt really happy. She said the next one was my mum. She went to her birthday with her as well. She said, my mum was leaving. She gave her gave her a card. She said, my next birthday was my sister. She said, but my nan passed. My mum gave her the card. And in there, the words were, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for your day, but I was thinking about you. So she did see the 3 birthdays out. Yeah. So yeah, it was a strange one for me, but also in a weird way, very funny because she already knew where her time was and she knew that she was off. So that's another thing. We all know when we're going to come in and when we're going to come out. And she knew. So yeah, that was quite strange, but good, yeah.
So it made an unbeliever a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. So really
you also give workshops, right?
I do. So I believe in modern day mediumship more so of finding out yourself how you work rather than me telling you how you're meant to work. A lot of people get caught up with all this opening and closing down, lots of protection. In life, if you want protection, you always go with someone that will protect you and look after you. But actually, you can protect yourself. That's what it's for. And we talked about guides earlier. Your guide's there to help you and to protect you. That's their job, to help you. And also your guide's there to develop you as well.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I think my guides are deaf.
No. You're just not asking the right questions.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So sometimes after demonstration, I don't personally feel that it's gone that well. So now I'll have a go at my guide. And he turns around and always says to me, because you got yourself involved. Right. I've always told you, don't get yourself involved. Just let go of yourself. Surrender yourself. And that's what I teach in my workshops, is surrender yourself and allow them to give you all that information. And that's what it is. That's how I can give messages and know where I'm going, is because they're saying to me and pushing me in the direction that they want to go to. And 9 times out of 10, I always hopefully get the person that the message is meant for.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So that's what my workshops are about, and my classes are to help you develop yourself, to channel yourself in the right way, and for you to trust yourself. So a lot of the times I teach people with blindfolds, so they don't actually see the person they're giving a message to. So they've got no one to trust but themselves. Right. And you get really, really good. You get really good evidence from it.
Results like that.
Absolutely.
I've been to classes before, and you get the same people. You have the same people.
Okay.
You have a workshop that could last 6 weeks, once a week, but you get the same people. Okay. So you get to know them. Absolutely. So the difference is with my classes, a lot of circles are closed circles. So you're right. Yeah. You get the same people for years. I believe in the doors open. If you want to come, come. If you don't want to come, you don't have to. It's not school. And then I find, as this one's been going on, this new one that I'm doing, I find it in Hackbridge, Spiritual, different people every week. So it's really, really good.
So it's much better. And also, once you brought that person through, or if that person knows somebody that's already sitting within there, I pair them up with other people that they don't know.
It's good.
So it works better that way. So you're not stuck with the same people.
And you also do a lot of events, don't you?
I do. I'm very, very fortunate to be traveling around. I've worked with many people, which I really love. And yeah, I'm just so, so blessed. So happy.
And what's the next one? Is it the Epsom Playhouse?
Epsom Playhouse, I've got that coming up now on November the 15th. I'm going to be working there with Ivan Lee. So we're going to be working together in the big auditorium.
Good.
So it's really exciting. My first time on stage. So I'm really scared, but it'll be fun.
So are you guys doing it together?
We're doing the evening together. Me and Ivan worked together before. Normally we split the evening. So some people like you or prefer Ivan. So we do like an hour on our own each. So the people are quite happy to get their messages and stuff. And at the end, we've done it once before, which really blew my mind, is we did a joint message together.
Nice.
And we really brought this character, this person alive between us. And everyone was just, even myself, was just totally blown away. So we're going to do that again. Hopefully do 1 or 2 links of joining them together. Yeah. And see, where we can go, really. So yeah, I'm really excited.
And you're also doing Spirit Seeker next year.
Spirit Seeker next year, that's right. I did it this year, and I've done various ones before. I absolutely love them. You get all really like-minded people, and got a chance to show off. Like last year, I was able to do a talk on the hypnotherapy and do a talk on the clairvoyant side. And people were like really interested in, and I just felt that a lot of people got a lot from it. I got so much from it as well. So I really, really enjoyed it, and you get a chance to demonstrate as well, but also watching other people, how they work. And that's what I do a lot of, watching other people. People think I'm coming to be nosy, but I'm really not, because I'm fascinated of how everyone else works differently and think, oh, maybe that will work for me. And that's how you build up your own personality of how you work. It's not just a case of, oh, look, I can just talk to dead people and that's it. You need to build up a way of how it really works for yourself. So I love watching TV shows. I love watching other people work. I like reading books and just grabbing those little bits to help you get even better. And that's the idea. We never stop learning. The minute we think in our own heart, oh, that's it, I'm there, that's me done, I'm established, don't have to go any further, that's the day for you to give up. Yeah. We must keep learning, keep getting better and better and better.
That's with everything in life.
Absolutely. And the minute we sit stagnant, it's the time to stop.
Yeah, that's right. But then a lot of people, as I said before, a lot of people run around in circles, or they just live on automatic pilot.
Absolutely.
Day in, day out, and it's the same thing.
Absolutely. So I've done that. I've done the autopilot. I'll be all right. I'm going to go and do the demonstration now. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. And when you get up there, it's like drawing teeth. It's such hard work. Yeah. And the guy's laughing at you, going, "Well, told you you need to go and sit and just chill out for a bit." You refuse to, and you get, in a way, you're calmer or you're payback there and then. And then once the evening's over, you realise actually, I'm not the one in charge. They're the ones that are helping you. So you're the captain of your ship.
Correct. I always say that too.
But also, they're there to help you. They're your crew. So if you don't listen to your crew, you can be the captain of the biggest ship in the world. It ain't going nowhere.
No, it isn't.
Exactly right.
And I always say, what's so important is to accept challenges. I always challenge myself. Absolutely.
Challenges are important. Yeah, definitely. You've got to challenge yourself. Every time I work, I get so nervous because I'm worried that I'm going to upset somebody or not get it right. I want to personally make sure that it's right for them as well as for myself, because I think I personally doubt myself all the time. My confidence level is always low, but I want to try and build that up. And the only way by doing that is, watching people enjoy their messages, and you don't know these people and you don't know their history, you don't know their loved ones. So it's nice getting these little bits of information that makes sense to them and you can't make it up.
And it gives them comfort,
Absolutely.
It helps them to move on.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. It's very important. And I think we learn every day. Every day we wake up, and before we go to sleep, we've always learned something new.
So it's a blessing. I mean, the work you do is a blessing.
Absolutely, yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it every single day.
And like I said earlier on, the way you deliver your messages, it's just, it's so on point, and you talk non-stop. It's so fast, it's so quick.
That's it. I've been nicknamed the Lee Evans of the psychic world. I tend to sweat quite a lot because I'm like, rush. I used to run up and down the stage a lot, but really? I can't, yeah. This time last year, I'll be like running up and down, people like you can see them getting all dizzy trying to keep up. So I've stopped that now. I try and stand a lot more now to try and centre myself a lot more. Yeah. Because I always feel that if you're running around, maybe I'm missing that little bit of evidence. You know, it's that little bit that's what the person's waiting for. So try and stand still more as much as I can, or slow walking, just in order to make sure that I've got everything I need to get for that person. So yeah, it does work. But yeah, that's what I've been nicknamed, the Lee Evans of the psychic world.
And any last words you want to depart us with?
Any last words?
Yeah.
Even when life is getting on top of you and you think there's no way out, there really is. You know, I've been there, got the t-shirt now, and I've realised.
I think you got many t-shirts.
I know. But yeah, no, it's definitely there. You just got to move forwards. And it's so hard to, you know, for a lot of people go, no, I can't do it, but you can. You just got to move slow. Little pigeon steps are better than big steps.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. As long as you're making those little steps, the bigger steps will follow. And just believe in yourself. You know, just trust within yourself. If I look back on my life now and think, wow, if someone told me 6 years ago all of this is going to happen, I was saying, no, they're lying. And now I can see that it does happen. Whatever you set your mind to do or want to do, it can happen. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.